I'm Pule Mulibati for Stories Untold. Welcome to the show. We are bringing yet another inspiring edition of the show, this time from the buzzing town of Braamfontein, known as a student hub. Today we bring you the story of Thabiso, founder of ITA Academic Foundation. He's had a rocky ride in his academic journey, but he is turning everything around and is holding students' hands as they figure their future and their lives in academia.
It is often said the best lesson in life is life itself. What does one do when they look back at their lives and realize that they have wasted over 10 years of their progress because of wrong choices? For Thabiso, he chose to create an environment that will take young people away from the temptations he succumbed to as a student.
I'm Thabiso. I'm from the VAL. I run a student accommodation and a student foundation. It's actually all one thing. I matriculated in 2000 in Queen's College Boys High. Thereafter, I went to Wits University. The big part was life. In fact, I remember when we got to Wits University, when I started my first degree, the professor said to us, 80% of you next year will not be here. And out of the 80%, out of that 20% that's left, and further 80% will drop out before you get to final year. We didn't believe it because you had a class full of nerds. You know, to them failing was a foreign concept. So what happened outside the classroom was a big factor, being the friends you keep, the places you go to. It gets in the way in terms of, say, discipline. You miss classes, you know, instead of being at the library, you're at the sports bar, for example. And that's really what happened to me.
What seemed like an opportunity to be a leader turned out to be the one thing that led Thabiso to move further away from the main reason he registered at university. This was to obtain a degree.
When I got to Wits, I became the entertainment officer, first of all. Let me just start there. And one of the benefits of that was you get a big room and you get a budget. And yeah, well, I basically just went out partying. I was on a bursary, which is again similar to what you have with students. I think with VUT students, they get their money directly. So, but as soon as that comes in, then yeah, my money was going to clubs and partying and all of that, which further accelerated my downfall, dropping out. It was an ongoing issue. With me personally, I dealt with personal issues like alcohol.
Out of school, no bursary fund to sustain him, Thabiso had to find ways to maintain his party lifestyle.
And I started going, to work, the call center, piece jobs to maintain, but school was always on and off. So it took me a very, very long time to finish my first degree, hence that 14-year gap.
Oftentimes, the choices we make do affect those close to us, and our dreams become their dreams too.
Thabiso is my second born. He's always been challenging, and the biggest challenge was when he went to university, obviously. I was told that the lecturers were saying, the first time we see you towards the end of the year, where have you been, who are you? Because Thabiso was busy looking after the entertainment of the students rather than really his academic. So it's been a roller coaster, it's been a very long process, especially when you are a single parent at the time, having to guide a young man. I have no skill, I don't know what are the challenges of boys out there. I could guide my girls, but it was difficult for a boy. So he had to learn a lot of things by himself.
From alcohol, it went into drugs as well. I've slept on the streets in Joburg. From Wits University, we'd walk up to Braamfontein. So I know all the strip clubs there. I was basically just a street child at some point in time. Where was school? Somewhere in the back of my mind.
I think what has helped us through was the fact that we forged a very good relationship, to the extent that he was always open with me, even with the most difficult things that were happening to him.
Having support as well from my mother, I can only tell you that I've put her through hell. Nothing is worse than seeing your mother through a jail cell.
Life caught up with Thabiso. While he was on his partying spree, he found himself on the wrong side of life, and that pushed his mother to tough love.
You know, for the 3 months that he was there, I went to the prosecutor. They told me that he has done nothing wrong. I said, can you keep him for 3 months behind the door so that he has Christmas and New Year? And I can tell you, the day he left those doors of jail, he had learned very hard that you choose who you go out with, you choose your friends very carefully. Thanks God he never got a criminal record.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, there we go. There we go, that's it. Nice, nice. The turning point, or one of the biggest things that motivated me, was having a child. Which is ironic, because you think that having a child is the thing that's going to get in your way as an obstacle. But instead, it strengthened my resolve to push harder, because now it's no longer just about me.
They're life-changing moments that get us off track. Likewise, they're also life-changing moments that bring us back on track. Thabiso, now a father, had to go back and reclaim his life.
I went through to UNISA, where I obtained my first degree in BCom Accounting Sciences. That was in 2014. Right, then thereafter I did my postgraduate diploma in accounting at Monash University, South Africa, in Reinsberg. Then I went back to UNISA to finish my other degree, which is a BCom Finance.
I'm very proud of him for having turned around, and not only for himself, but wanting to give to others.
After what Thabiso went through, it gives us so much hope listening to how Thabiso describes the man he has become.
Thabiso is a social entrepreneur, somewhat of a humanitarian, a motivator, lover of life, child of God. I think maybe let's just start there. For the big man is angry at me.
Welcome back. It's still Stories Untold. Thank you for staying with us. Let's face it, being a first-year student can be quite daunting. There's so much to figure out, so much to grasp in so little time. That's why it's important to mentor young people, to walk with them, more than anything to offer emotional support. Today, as we share the story of Thabiso Thebe, we look at just the fact that he's not only providing accommodation, but he's walking with students as they figure different stages of their academic year.
So what guided me to start ITA Academic House was I recognized that there's a high dropout rate, and I wanted to be the change, to break the cycle based on what I had experienced as a person.
From his experience, Thabiso knows best what the environment can do to a student's life.
The culture of Kasi as well, you know, it's very difficult for them to excel academically, where people are throwing parties next door and so forth. So the support I received was a big motivating factor, and I noted that if students could have someone they could look towards, you know, as a mentor who's done it, who's been through it all, then they can, you know, copy that person and move forward and apply the same principles in order for them to succeed.
Thabiso's life experiences truly molded his vision about ITA academics, and he soon attracted like-minded people to his dream.
Sana, she likes to be called, she studied psychology, and for me to get involved with Sana is just a bowl of energy and successful, and her heart is in the right place.
Currently partner with Thabiso at the ITA Academy for student accommodation, but also the foundation part. I really am concentrating on empowering the students and also making sure that they're prepared for the world of work. But also we want to make sure that they're not just at the student accommodation to finish their studies, but to grow them as people and to prepare them for the work of world and prepare them for the world at large in terms of their living skills, but also what happens after school skills. First of all, you want to understand that having to partner with somebody who's gone through so much and has made it, it gives you confidence that what we're trying to build together will become a success. Thabiso has gone through a lot of very difficult struggles, and seeing him going through that, but not only staying within those struggles, but seeing him making a difference and wanting to become better in this life, that inspired me to say, I want to work with a person like this, because first of all, he's owned his journey. And there's nobody that you can work with that is better than a person, one, who owns their journey, who's responsible, and who's putting the effort into changing their lives. And that's what Thabiso has been. From a personal perspective, he is really the most loving person that you would find. I mean, he's a beautiful and hands-on dad. You should see him with his son. So it makes you comfort that it makes you comfortable, that he's that kind of person. You know, he's got his strengths, he's got his areas of development, but also he's present in the moment. He's real.
Ultimately, we're looking at a very pragmatic approach where we look at life skills, and then we look at education or academic support, right, as well as the accommodation. We're trying to build a culture or movement, if you were, where we have peers and mentors all together, so one pulls up the other.
3 years ago, Andrew left Tembisa in the East Rand to study at the Northwest University. Val was far from the home he had left behind. He stayed at ITA Academics for the duration of his study and shares his experiences with us.
It was quite great because I had people who have been doing the same course that I've been doing. So when I didn't know things, they were right here beside me. They've been helping us to get mentors from the same course that I've been doing. Life-wise, we had emotional support. Like, if you had problems, there were people around where you can talk to them and they'll understand your situation. You wouldn't even suffer financially because we were living like a family.
Moses, currently staying at ITA Academics' house, has since become a competitive bodybuilder, runs a Give Her Confidence community project that empowers the youth. He gave us a tour of the place he calls home.
My name is Moses Panning, and I'm a psychology student at NW. I am a men's physique athlete. I do bodybuilding at school.
Thabiso and Sana are very passionate about tutoring the students that live here.
There's 2 private tutors they help us with accounting and other studies that are here, like psychology and business communications. And we have mentors also here. They help us with everything else generally in life, how to run a business, certain skills. They boost our confidence and other skills that we have. My stay here at ITA Academics has been very good because we have tutors that help us out with our schoolwork. Everything is always on point. Our kitchen is very clean. The people that stay here also are very civilized, so everything is very good. We have our own personal gym, unlike other races. So at times, if I cannot make it to campus, because there's a gym at campus, I can just generally train here, and I don't have to worry about missing gym or missing other programs that I do at the gym. So I can basically do everything here without having to worry about time and space. And I've enjoyed my stay here, and I recommend other students to come and stay here if they want things to be smooth for them.
Mostly we are dealing with students who are coming to study, who are looking for a better future. And what we're doing basically is to say that your dreams are valid. And our job is to validate that daily. Our job is to say that you don't have to have the money now, but it will come. Our job is to instill hard work. Our job is to prepare them for the world of work, because once they get out there, they would need to know what the coping skills are. They would need to know things like emotional intelligence. So what we do, we give a package that deals with education by giving the technical know-how. And then we also make sure that we deal with the mental person, where we make sure that they're okay mentally. They are okay with where they're coming from. Then we're dealing with their physical part. They are fed, there's food. And also we're saying, whatever problem you have, tell us. Let's see how we can meet each other halfway. So you will not deal with one student that is exactly the same as the other. They're quite different, but the principle is really basic. Work hard, study, and let us be your support system whilst you're staying in our accommodation.
Welcome back to the show. We are almost at the end of our show, but we still have a few more things that we'd like to cover in terms of sharing Thabiso Thebe's story. And as we do that, it's important that we emphasize that his core message is to reduce a tertiary education dropout and to support students and to make sure that they focus in their education and avoid all the other distractions that come with that freedom that you get when you're finally on your own pursuing higher learning.
I love business. So we start up various sort of programs. So for my biotech student, Andrew, he will be working with me on starting this one in marijuana, which is a new industry that's coming up now, both marijuana and mushrooms. So our main thing as well is to work with companies, because that's very key. We find a lot of students are just coming out, but companies don't need them. You know, someone who's going to study something that's irrelevant is not going to get placed in the job market. And we have a very competitive job market now. You know, people are being worked to the bone. So that's where we come in again, giving other skills, 4 IR skills. Like that's why I did data analytics and currently doing automation. So I can give those same skills, impart those same skills to the students. And hopefully in the process, you know, we'll be tendering and looking for business so that we can put them on actual projects. Because skill is one of those things. It's all very well you can read a book, but can you do it is a whole different story. And people get paid on skill.
ITA Accommodation helped me to be hopeful. You know, it was very difficult to get in serve, because you apply to many companies, some they don't respond to you, some they do, which is good. At least there's some progress, can see something. When ITA Accommodation introduced me to their program, so I was fortunate that I stayed here, and then I'm also they're also helping me to get experience in biotechnology field, which will also help me to graduate, because in order to graduate I need that in-service training. So getting it was very fortunate, and I'm very happy.
We instill the discipline early on, because as part of the journey map of preparing them for the world of work, we also want them to understand that from here, you need to be responsible for your life. So in the student accommodation, there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of things that you can do that you cannot do. So it's not really us allowing students to go on a wild party, but we're saying, be the adult now, but let us help you now and support you so that when you're ready to go on your own, you've got all the values, you've got all the skills, you are ready to stand at your own.
It took a parent's courage to believe that not all is lost with her son, and Thabiso's mom gives a word to parents.
I think for me, every parent should not give up on their children. Don't listen to your friends or people when they tell you this child will never change. But most importantly, make him or her feel that he's important like other children. Like he's not a delinquent. that you understand and you wake him from where he is. Don't impose. You know, I've seen most of the parents would say, yeah, don't do this, you must do that, you must do that. Understand why is he doing it.
Today, Thabiso is a far cry from the party boy he once was. He has become a beam of hope.
Life happens. Life will always have its difficulties. There's no such thing as a problem-free life. So beyond this, if things don't go your way, just keep pushing. It's very easy to get sidetracked. In fact, me personally, that's pretty much where it all started. So get around the right people. It's just one of the most important things, and don't waste time. I know all week is lovely and we want to have good memories, but that's not the only memory you want to finish school with, you know, or not finish school for that matter. So really, when you go there, know what you want, know your why.
Thabiso's torch continues to burn, and it is already lighting up others' path.
There's a lot of freedom, first of all, so you get distracted easily with all the partying that's happening around, all the different activities, that you end up forgetting that you're actually here for schoolwork. You're actually here to better your future and have a bright future. So my advice to you is stay disciplined, manage your time, and be focused at all times.
I would like to say to students that be adaptable. The tertiary institutions and the world of, the world post-matric can be very difficult to adapt to because you are moving in a world of the unknown. The environment is different. The people that you're going to be dealing with are different. You're going to be meeting people that you've never met in your life, people you've never stayed with. They won't be people that your neighbors, your sisters, your family. So be adaptable. And what I would also like to encourage students is that ask help, seek help. If you are feeling that you're struggling, do not wait and struggle in silence. There's people who've been there. We've been there. I'm personally coming from Mpumalanga. I've never been to Joburg. When I came here, I had to ask. So ask help. Seek help, whether it's personal, whether it's from an institutional perspective where you need the institutions to assist you. There's a lot of programs that are available. There's a lot of assistance and support that is available. So if you find yourself as a student and you're not coping, speak up.
From an entertainment officer at university, his priorities now include seeing university students come out stronger and ready to conquer the world.
Thabiso, he's more than a landlord to me. He's a brother. Like, I can call him anytime. Our relationship has always been like that from my first year.
A lot of his ideas around the foundation and the academy, they are very forward thinking. So the world is about to be very surprised with what we're building here.
Good messages from Inky Johnson, who says tough times never last, but really tough people do.
And on that note, we end our show here for today. Remember, tag us on Instagram at Stories Untold SABC. All the best for 2022. It's just the beginning of the year. Everything is possible if you set your mind to it. Until next week, goodbye.